Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to be talking about a lot of great things on week 13 this week. I'm going to go over my week 12 results with you all. You might be a little surprised by these. I'm going to hit a few things from some previous videos, of course, because I am still receiving messages about it even to this day. I don't know if people only watch the one video and then don't continue on after that so that they don't see the response, or if people really are still kind of in turmoil over this, but I do have some things to show you today that I think you will all find very interesting. We also have a sponsor today, so yay! Not because of me, but because of you all. We now have sponsors for our YouTube videos, much like I do on my other social platforms. So I am going to be going over today about the Nood, and we'll save that for a little bit later, but Nood is going to be our sponsor for today's video, as well as yes, I've heard you. I've heard your cry. You all have said, we understand you're not on compounds. You've showed us something that makes us question things. But what have you found that is the other end of the spectrum that maybe we should go look at too and consider if that would be for us? I've got you all covered there as well. Today, we're going to be talking about Emerge and the 503A and 503B facilities that they do use. I'm also going to be putting up a nice little code for you all for that, because you can get $25 off your first 2 shipments through Emerge, giving you a $50 off as you get started or on your journey or switching over to compounds, whatever you decide to do with your journey. I am a Zepbound girl. I continued on Zepbound this week for my week 13 injection, and I will show you all that here in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so hopefully you guys took some nice deep breaths during that nice calming welcome screen. Today I'm going to touch on a couple of different topics. The first thing that I do want to talk about is all of the media that is around these weight loss medications. I recently this week watched a YouTube special with Oprah. Yes, again, it's Oprah. I've seen so many things of people accusing Oprah. The last, special on Ozempic or weight loss drugs that she did that was a primetime event with Weight Watchers there is like the reason for this is in shortage. I promise you all it has nothing to do with Oprah. We were in shortage long before that Oprah special. And now she has come back and she has done another special. This special was really more with the movement of body positivity and the movement of body positivity and how they are against or for these new weight loss medications and the clash that they are having with Weight Watchers in general. Again, I am not a Weight Watchers affiliate, and so I can say whatever I want to about this, right? I know that in that special, and a lot of the people that she had on there, they were very adamant against wanting Weight Watchers to send out some type of an apology to the Weight Watchers community. I don't really know that I agree with that in general, because I do know that Weight Watchers for a lot of people has worked, and it has done very well in teaching them how to eat properly, how to move more. Back when I did Weight Watchers, the whole message was about moving more and then also eating appropriately. And I don't really find anything wrong personally with that message. But after watching the Oprah special, I do realize that it probably somehow did trigger a lot of people for Weight Watchers to basically come on and say, okay, yes, now we are going to be offering these weight loss medications to people, because it kind of sent across this message of until you're thin, then you are not worthy. And so there's a lot of back and forth in this special. If you've not watched it, I'm going to go ahead and warn you that it's over 3 hours long, but feel free to go and watch it. There are some really good nuggets in there. One thing that I really did kind of take away from this was one of the I believe she is I know she's a sociology major, but she's not a psychologist, but she did come out and say she had written a full article on Oprah and about how when she ended her career, she was accepting her body, and then she did not really see her loving her body until she was on this program talking about how she had done these weight loss drugs and basically what the message of that is sending across. Oprah comes out and says, like, hey, I have contributed to diet culture for many, many years. I understand that. I own that. And I know that there is a problem. This same woman came out and said that while you can be accepting of your body and fine with your body, that other people are going to place a stigma on you and stigmatize the way you look, stigmatize your weight, stigmatize whatever it is you're doing. And I think that basically, I feel like on or off these drugs, you are kind of, darned if you do and darned if you don't. Either people are going to treat you differently, like Heather said on her Ozempic interview, they're going to treat you differently because you are bigger, or treat you differently now because you're smaller. They're going to treat you better. Or they're going to treat you differently because you're on this medicine. And so there's this stigma in our culture today. And honestly, I personally don't feel like it's anybody's business what you're on or what you're doing, or if you're losing weight or you don't want to lose weight. It's really no one's business. However, everyone is making it their business in this social media, like, trolling society that we have. I feel really bad for Kelly Clarkson. I know that she's taking a huge hit right now because people are angry that she was claiming that her weight loss was due to a high protein diet and exercising more, which goes back to that, eat right and move message that you're sending out to people as to how you're losing weight. And then she finally came out this week with Whoopi Goldberg, and they both said that they are on an injection. They did not say which one. The only thing Kelly Clarkson did say was that it's not the one you guys think, probably meaning that it's not Ozempic. That seems to be what all the celebrities are on. And she's taking a lot of heat for this from people for sending mixed messages of, hey, are you the, diet and move more person and you're against the weight loss drugs, or are you for them? And I know that in the media right now, it can be very confusing to people, very disheartening to people. In reality, it's just no one's business. It really isn't. I feel like so many people are so worried about what everybody else is doing, and they need to just chill out. I think everybody needs to worry about themselves, make decisions for themselves, and something Kelly Clarkson said that kind of resonated with me was that her doctors had hounded her for years about going on these medicines. She kept saying no to it. There was like this stigma around taking these medicines, and she didn't want to do it. She did not see herself as that large of a person, or that close to having a heart attack, when in reality maybe she was. And so I think that overall there's just kind of this break with society right now of, are we for these? Are we against these? Are we gonna, hound people about how much they weigh and make fun of them for how much they weigh, and then also make fun of them for being on these drugs, or hound them for being on these drugs. And I think everyone needs to just chill out. And that is what the Weight Watchers and Oprah message basically was. Like, everyone needs to just decide, like, what is it that you want in life, and what is it that you want to be comfortable with? Do you want to have body positivity and body acceptance and just say, I am who I am, this is who I am, this is how I'm going to be, I'm happy with it, and move forward? Or are you going to say, no, I'm not happy with that, and I do want the weight off, and I am going to accept that I've tried on my own and I can't do it myself, and I am going to move forward into something that I can take? So that's kind of my throw out to everyone today. I would love for you all to put down in the comments down below whether you are on these medicines or you're not on these medicines, kind of your viewpoint on this. Do you feel basically ashamed or nervous to tell people that you are taking these drugs, and why or why not? I would love to hear y'all's comments down below, because I feel like this is a very good thing to discuss openly as a community, to just say hey, yeah, I'm nervous because of this or this, here's these repercussions. And then basically really think about what it is you're scared of or not scared of, and then find a way to overcome it. And basically move forward, move on with your life, right? And I think that's one of the greatest messages that came out of the Oprah special was, how do we move forward? How do we change the way society views weight loss and weight on people versus weight off of people? And how do we stop attacking one another? Because I think that is what needs to come out of all of this. I'm also going to go over that last week I did discuss how in the shortage that Weight Watchers Clinic had told someone that I know that they could prescribe them Contrave. Contrave is basically for that emotional eater. My mother came to me and said, hey, I might want to take that if it's just going to cut off just that portion and it's not going to affect any of my other organs, that might be something that I would want to do. So of course I had to go look into it more and deep dive because it's my mother, right? And I did find out the Mayo Clinic did a study and they had 79% of their patients in their study lost 10% of their body weight during that study. It did not state how long that study was. I will try to find that before I post this video and put it up over here for you all. One thing that I did note, deep diving more into like FDA documents and warning letters and letters to Curax, who makes Contrave, is that they did not do full studies around what the FDA was requiring or asking for when it comes to adolescents, pediatrics, or cardiovascular issues such as a stroke, or a heart attack, or the effectiveness of this drug when it comes to taking it with other drugs or even herbal supplements. And so they did get dinged quite a lot for some misleading ads that they have had out there over the past few years about whether or not this is like a fully studied and ready to go drug for the public. I know that it also stated that anyone who has depression issues, any type of mental illness issues, should not go on this medication. And that is something that the FDA wants them to communicate effectively to the public, just because this specific drug does increase suicidal thoughts. So for my mother, I'm going to say no to that. I basically just said, you need to wait a little bit more. If you're not interested in the injections, keep doing what you're doing. My mother is just doing the Weight Watchers general program. She's lost a lot of weight just watching what she's eating, basically logging it, and then trying to move more. And again, my mother has RA, and so moving more to her is a lot harder. And so her weight is coming off slowly, but it is coming off. So I'm very, very proud of her for that. I know she said her doctor was also very proud of her for that as well. But I do think that until there is a little more study on that, I would probably tell her to hold off on that. And I know that last week I said, hey, that might be something that if I can't get my Zepbound that I might move over and try. I think that my opinion after kind of deep diving into that a little more, I'm going to wait until they have some more studies, because I'm not taking an autoimmune treatment because they have unexplained cardiovascular events. So I'm definitely not going to deep dive and go into a weight loss medicine that could potentially cause the exact same thing or could even counteract with my autoimmune treatments. So for me, I'm going to hold on that. I do understand that a lot of people might go ahead and try it. If you are or you ever have been on Contrave, I would love to hear about it in the comments down below and get some end user, real patient feedback on this, and whether or not you had a good experience on it, you had a bad experience on it. Please feel free to share down below, because I like to collect real patient, real in time use information as well, not just what the FDA has in a letter. I think that everyone is basically just trying to better themselves and create a better life for themselves. And I am all about that, no matter what method you all try to use for that. which brings me to today's sponsor. So in this progress of betterment for me, I decided to partner with Nood. This is a Like to Know It collaboration that I did with Nood on YouTube. So they are today's sponsor. This is the Flasher 2.0, and guess what? It is an FDA approved device. So I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about this guy. Flasher 2.0, this is a permanently flash away hair device in as little as 8 weeks. Again, it is FDA cleared. It is an IPL device. And the one that I have, when I first got this, I was shocked to see all the different places that you could use this, because I've had other devices in the past and you cannot use it on the face. You cannot use it in your nether regions. You can't use it anywhere that you have sensitive skin. And this one you can. This one, it says it works everywhere that hair grows. You can use it on legs, arms, face, back, chest, underarms, even your nether regions, and even your booty. This is absolutely phenomenal. I've had this for the past probably 2 weeks now. I've been using it everywhere that I possibly can. I've even been making my husband help me with it. One thing I do want to point out to everybody is that you do need to have some type of pigmentation in your hair that you are using this on. So you're looking at black hair, brown hair, dark blonde. You don't want to have the gray or light blonde or even red hair, because the IPL in this that is using the flash is not necessarily going to pick it up on those lighter hairs. Does not hurt. I repeat, it does not hurt. I thought this would be a great sponsor for these videos, especially with people who are trying to make things better for themselves, because nothing is worse in summer to me than getting out and looking down and you see that your waxer has missed like a big strip of hair on your leg that everybody can see, or you were shaving and you missed an entire row of hair that everybody can see. So go ahead and just flash it away with the Flasher 2.0. As a reminder for everyone, I am a Zepbound girl. There's my Zepbound box right back there. I believe that's when I was on 5. I have been down to the 2.5 for the past couple of weeks now. It is the only strength that I've been able to find. I wake up basically every morning and check everywhere that I possibly can. That is a virtual check. So I check on my Lily Direct, medication out of stock. I checked over on Amazon, medication out of stock. I check with CVS Caremark. I check with Costco. I check with Sam's. I check with everybody that I possibly can. Sometimes I will even make phone calls depending on how close I am getting to that 21-day mark where I can fill it again. One thing that Weight Watchers Clinic has been super great about with me is that they constantly check in with me and say, do you want us to try to go ahead and locate you some? Do you want us to try to help you find it? We understand that this shortage is really hard. Most of the time I find that for me personally, I can hit all the places that are around where I live and go a little bit further a lot faster than possibly they can. The doctor with Weight Watchers Clinic did tell me, and what's weird about this is the care team messaged me and said, hey, we have great news. Amazon shows that they have a lot of the 2.5 and even the 5 in stock that they can send out. Would you like us to send your prescription to them? I went back and told them, yeah, that would be great. Can I go back to the 5 that I was previously on? About a day later, I get a message from the doctor that says, I'm not going to do that. I will send you the 2.5, but the 5 milligram is still listed in shortage. You know, basically saying I don't want to send you the 5 milligram, even if they do have it right now, does not mean that they're going to have it next time you take it, and you don't need to be flip-flopping back and forth. I get it. I do. However, when I go over my week 12 results with you guys, I have come to this realization that you really can only stay on the 2.5 for so long before it either stops working for you and the food noise comes back, or it stops working for you because you really needed to titrate up. And you guys will see that in just a moment. Now, what I do also want to talk about today is today's video is also sponsored by Emerge. And Emerge is who I looked into probably the most of compounding platforms and what pharmacies they work with. I'm going to be doing a blog post. I will get it done before I post this video so that I can tag it for you all down below. Now remember, you can either scan this QR code right here or head to the link that is down into the caption for Emerge, and you can get $25 off your first 2 shipments for a total of $50 off. Now, here's a couple of things that I personally like about Emerge. And yes, I'm looking into compounding companies because if it ever gets to the point where I cannot obtain any of the medicines, which I thought I was going to be there for quite a while, quite a few times, I may or may not consider going to a compound based on what I'm finding on these different pharmacies and services. And that's me. That's my own personal research and preference that I've been going through. One thing that I will say about Emerge is it appears to be extremely simple, right? It's very, very simple. It is like a text back and forth type system. You do still have to put all of your information in. You do still need to be able to show the doctor or the nurse practitioner that you work with, whichever one you get. Yes, I've been on this. Here's my, medical record of where I've been on it. This is why I'm requesting this strength. A couple of things that I think you all are going to like about Emerge is that they do not have a BMI requirement where they want you to meet that 30 BMI. So I've seen that a lot of people on the groups are saying that this is a great option for after you get below the BMI of 30 and your insurance is not covering it for you anymore, that you could go over and get the compound version via Emerge to continue on to get to the weight that you really want to be at. They also accept both FSA and HSA. They also only utilize 503A or 503B. That supplies 503A because 503A is who sends direct to patients. The 503B is who's basically sending to your med spas, your hospitals, your clinics, larger batches, right? They only use 3 different sources. I've looked up their sources. Their first one is from Hallandale Pharmacy. Their second one is from Empower. And their third one is called Southlake. Now, the difference between these 3, Hallandale does not compound their Tirzepatide with anything else. I did get a message from their pharmacist, and this is what they said they are compounding with. They additionally told me where they get their compound from, which is an FDA-approved distributor of API ingredients that are all FDA approved. What that means is, when you go out and you look at Darmerica, you're going to see that as they receive in any type of ingredient that they're getting that as a raw material, they are testing it to ensure that it is in fact what it should be. So they're doing purity and integrity testing before they ship that out to any pharmacy for use. So you're basically getting a pre-check on that raw material before it heads down to the pharmacy to basically just get mixed up with water and benzyl alcohol before it comes to your door. You're basically paying the pharmacy to just mix it up for you, provide you, your syringes, your alcohol wipes and things like that for injection, okay?
And so this is something that I want to show everybody next. I tried to do a recording where you guys could still see me down in the corner and the microphone was awful, so I'm just going to do the voiceover on top of this. This is the FDA Firm Supplier Evaluation and Resources. If you all remember, we saw last time when I was evaluating a compounding service in a pharmacy, they had provided me a C of A, and on their C of A, it was a company that was based out of China that was providing their Tirzepatide to them for use. I believe it was Zhejiang Peptide Biotech LLC. And so what I did on here is I looked up that exact same supplier from their C of A because I wanted to see if they were an approved supplier in the FDA system and what were they approved for. So here I'm going to open up the report on this exact Chinese supplier that was on that C of A. And when you open this up on the FDA's website, it is going to show you all of the different inspections, all of the FDA actions timeline on the import of this into the United States. And as you guys can see, there's quite a few rejections on this timeline, especially here lately, as well as inspections on there as well. So it's going to go through your action timeline, your inspections, your compliance actions, your recalls, your import rejections, import alerts, and then also warning letters. All I see on this entire timeline up here are rejections. And so I wanted to look a little bit more into basically what those rejections were. Are these peptides that are trying to come in? Is this weight loss medication? Is it something else? What exactly is it that they're sending in that is being rejected at import? Because if it is going to the other pharmacy and they are utilizing it, how are they getting it if it has been rejected every time they've tried to import something in? So I did find that interesting. One thing that I thought was a little lacking on here is it does show the inspection, but it won't let you open that inspection report. What it will let you do down at the bottom, when you're looking at the refusals or those rejections, it will tell you by product category. And all of these are drug products. Okay, so you're looking at a glucagon, you're looking at a semaglutide, you're looking at tirzepatide, you're looking at peptides in general. Every single one of these is listed here. It also goes through and shows you the reason code as to why it was rejected. And if you look at the very tip top up there, you're going to see in blue where it says you can download the refusal changes or charges for reference. And so I did go ahead and download that because I was curious as to, okay, what were their refusal reasons as to why their import of whatever they were importing was basically just straight up refused. And I've linked all of this over into my blog post because a lot of these are very interesting reasons, from mislabeling to appearing to be a full-on drug product that requires a prescription, to additives that are unknown, to labeling that's not in English, to not meeting GMP requirements, to things being found on the products that are in there that could cause harm. There is just a lot on here. And so this is just another kind of reason that I feel like it's important for people to know how to look up these different things and how to ask the questions around where are you getting this API from, your active pharmaceutical ingredient for what it is you're mixing up. And then also be able to go out and look up information about that company, specifically with the FDA, because this is a fairly lengthy list of refusals and rejections at import from this one company that the other pharmacy that I covered last time was utilizing. So it's there if you guys want to see it.
The Empower, they are based on their website. They are also adding in a B3 or a niacinamide to their compounded mixture. And if you guys recall, I'm allergic to B vitamins. Southlake additionally is mixing in a B12. Some people really like that. I am allergic to B12, so I'm allergic to B vitamins. So that's not going to be an option for me. However, a lot of people really like the B12 mixed in with this based on what I'm seeing on different forums because it does give you a little bit more energy. It can also kind of like, I guess, keep you from, I don't know if it keeps you from getting sick. I don't know if it helps like with nausea and vomiting. I don't know because I can't take it. So if you guys have a compound that is, with a B vitamin, I would love for you guys to comment down below, like what the effects are of the B vitamin for you personally. If you previously did the brand name and then now you're doing one that has a B vitamin in it and how that works for you. Now, a couple of different things. With Emerge, there's no membership fee. There's no shipping fee. There's no additional fees. And so a lot of the other platforms that I'm looking at, you're paying like this monthly fee, or you're, having to pay a virtual visit fee, or you're having to pay an annual fee, or you have to be locked in for so many months, as where with Emerge, you don't have any of that. You can additionally request, because this is a doctor and nurses that you are, or nurse practitioners that you're going through, you can also additionally request things like Zofran from Emerge that they can call into your local pharmacy wherever you are if you are having really bad nausea and vomiting, which I thought was really, really great. You can also pause at any time. So they're going to automatically, it says, send you a text message on your week 3 and just, kind of say, hey, how are you doing? Do you want to stay on your current dosage? Do you want to titrate up? And then they're going to go ahead and call that in. You do get FedEx overnight shipping on ice. So it's literally overnight. I do not know personally how long it takes from beginning to you receive it at your door. If you all have used Emerge, then please comment down below how long it took you from the time you texted to, and did your whole intake to receiving the medicine. Or if you use the code and the QR code that I have here now and you start it, I would love for you guys to come back here afterwards and let me know what your experience was through this, and then comment down below how long the process took. So I feel like for a lot of people, this is going to be like kind of a no-brainer. Like, you're not charged all these additional fees. You're basically just saying like, hey, I would like to get my 5 or 7.5. And I believe it even states that you can special request a 12.5 between the 10 and the 15 if you would like to, and see if they can get someone to send you that. For me personally, if I were to try to get a Tirzepatide, I would not want any kind of B vitamins in it. That's me, because I'm allergic to B vitamins. I would just want the pure thing that is there. Now, I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that you should do this. I am not saying in any way, shape, or form that this is a safe method or a safe drug to take. I'm simply wanting to show you what my research was behind this, as far as those pharmacies being 503A or 503A and B facility, and you can find them on the FDA's website as well as listed as that. I'm also going to be doing a blog post and then putting all the information that I can find about each one of these via Emerge, so that you guys can go and look at that information yourself, and kind of, narrow it down to what it is you personally may or may not be okay with as far as a compounded medicine. Again, I know there's always going to be personal patient stories behind every single pharmacy. And so I don't want to say like, hey, there's nothing out there on any of these pharmacies, because there for sure is. There is for sure complaints on each one of these pharmacies that you can find. There is for sure, warning letters or inspection reports for each one of these pharmacies on the FDA website. I'm going to link all of that over in my blog post. And I think that everyone needs to just kind of ask themselves, are you okay with this, or are you not okay with it, before you move forward? I'm simply wanting to give the information, also give you guys the $25 off your first 2 shipments if you decide that you would like to do this, or you're just kind of fed up with waiting on the name brand. Me personally, I'm still waiting on the name brand. I'm still taking the Zepbound at 2.5 milligrams. And so now I'm going to talk about my week 12 results. Okay, so last week I told everybody that during week 11, 12, and 13 is when I personally have seen people reporting out either that they have stalled, they have the same weight, or they have gained weight. That, unfortunately, is also my exact same experience. So as you all know, I've been on the 2.5 milligram of Zepbound for, I don't even remember how many weeks now. I know I did 4 weeks on 2.5. I did the next 4 weeks on 5. So that gets me to 8. And so after 8 weeks, so my week 9 until now, which today was my week 13, I have been back on the 2.5. I, even at the 5, was ready to move up to 7.5 because I was not feeling the same effects at the 5 milligram that I even felt at the 2.5 milligram. Now, I have lost weight from week 9 to week 13. However, during week 12, I am up by 1.4 pounds. I know everyone's saying it's only 1.4 pounds, like go to the bathroom, right? And so that therein has also been my issue in the past probably 2 or so weeks. I know that I did a whole video on constipation and dealing with constipation. And so since I've been staying on this 2.5 a little longer, I've noticed that where it previously was not really causing me a lot of constipation, and when I went up to the 5 milligrams, it was causing it. I discussed that with my GI doctor, and I told a lot of people that I would be discussing what I discussed with her this week, and so I'm going to do that. I did discuss with her that I'm starting to have issues again with constipation, even at the 2.5, where I thought it was only going to be at the 5 and up. And so I have been on Linzess. I was on the 145 milligrams of Linzess since before I started this, right? Because I have IBS-C. I've had IBS-C for a very, very long time. And that is why I did all of the constipation, tidbits of ways to get around it and things to make sure that you're taking. Additionally, I told you all that I take the magnesium breakthrough. Another issue that I had was I ran out of my magnesium breakthrough, and it did not come in prime, and it did not come right away. And so I had a break in my magnesium. So I discussed that with my GI doctor as well. She said it's fine for me to take the magnesium. Just know that it's going to kind of just make everything a little bit softer and move a little bit fluid through there, whereas she's wanting everything to be solid. Personally, I'm fine if everything is just moving right on through there. I don't need it to be like super solid, just move, right? One thing she did say about me being on Tirzepatide is that she's fine if things sit longer in my stomach as far as my digestive system goes. However, the reason she wanted to increase my Linzess, which she did, and today is my first day taking that increased dosage to try to get things to move for me. The reason she wanted to increase my Linzess dosage is because she does not want things sitting for a very long time once they get past my stomach. She said there's really no reason for things to just sit and go unmoving throughout the rest of your digestive system. And so we did move up in the Linzess to try that for me. Today's my first day taking that, and my magnesium breakthrough just got here about 2 days ago, so I'm just now taking that again. I additionally did get the magnesium breakthrough powder that you can drink. And so I'm going to be starting a little bit of that possibly as well instead of the tablets, because it was easier to get, and it did come in the Prime 2-day shipping. And it doesn't taste bad either. I will tell you all, it doesn't taste that bad. So I'm going to be trying this kind of different concoction of things. And, of course, I did discuss the whole brand name versus compound with my GI specialist as well. She basically said that for people who their insurance cover it, that's great. Get the name brand. It's cheaper for you. It's the FDA approved drug. Compounds, the actual drug is not FDA approved. It's typically just the components that are utilized for it that are FDA approved. She did have a little bit of a setback when it comes to compounds, because she said that there is a higher risk with those as far as, knowing whether or not they are a pure substance, knowing whether or not they are the actual Tirzepatide, or they are the actual drug in the correct mixture that you should be getting. However, she did say that she feels for people who do not have access to it, that it is a good method for them to do, because at least they're getting some kind of help where they definitely need help. She also did tell me that she was happy that I did research on all of this. She, basically said, I know that a lot of doctors were pushing you to possibly even have the bariatric surgeries. I'm not really fully on board with that for you, talking about me specifically, just because I do have an autoimmune disease. And when I talked to a lot of people who were on autoimmune treatments or did have an autoimmune disease that had done the bariatric surgeries, either the sleeve or the bypass, basically come like a 1.5 to 2 years later, they were all still having a lot of complications or issues, or their weight was coming back. And so she did say now, and this is very interesting to me. I have that this is my current weight loss, and then with my gain, this is now today my current weight loss. She has on my chart with her that I actually weighed more than what I logged initially with Weight Watchers Clinic, and she is quoting that my medical chart shows that I am currently down 30 pounds. So I don't really know. You guys know when you go to the doctor and the scale is always like not what your scale at home says. And I've even been to multiple doctors in the same day, and each one of my doctor's scales says something different, basically. So I felt really great. And she's like, no, you're down 30 pounds since February. Like, that's great. I'm going to see you in another 6 months from now. And, you guys, I'm loving hearing that I don't have to see doctors for another 6 months. By the way, I know I told you guys last time I don't have to see my rheumatologist for 6 months, and now I don't have to see my GI specialist for 6 months either. So the excitement that I have for not having to see these doctors for 6 months probably outweighs like my disappointment in my week 12 of gaining the 1.4 pounds, because I feel like, okay, I just need to get my digestive system moving again. I need to start moving again, because I'm going to be very honest with you all. Since Derby, I feel like I've not been doing what I need to in the gym. I've not been out walking like I was walking. We've had multiple visitors at my house. I've had my mother-in-law and father-in-law here, and then immediately after they were here, then my mother's here and she's still here. So I feel like I'm like in this flux, and I'm not really like in my normal state, and I need to kind of calm down and get back into my normal state. And so I'm not really upset about, being up by 1.4 pounds, but I kind of am. I know that there's a lot of different things that play a role in this. Like, yes, I've been on the 2.5 milligrams, and I feel like I've been on it longer than I should be. I really initially felt like at this point at week 13 that I would probably be on the 7.5 milligrams at this point, depending on how I tolerated it. But that's just not really the case of where I am right now. So I do still have 3 more injections of my 2.5. I cannot go and ask my insurance until sometime next week to go ahead and lift for me to get the next one. They like for you to be at 21 days to 28 days before you get your next prescription. It has been called in right now. However, when I look at it, it's telling me that I'm going to owe like $1,400 for it. And I'm not about to go pick that up and pay for $1,400 for it. I am also going to say that I'm going to continue to look into different pharmacies as well. I am not really I'm still to this day not really on board with compounding. I understand that compounding is, really for drugs, one, yes, that are in shortage, but also compounding is really for patients who need a drug. It's just that they can't necessarily have a certain component of the drug. And I am not that person. I can take Zepbound just fine. I know without issues. So I'm going to continue to stick with Zepbound. That's my personal journey. That's my personal choice. But I am going to try to put information out there for those of you who are looking at other options so that you can find the research and you are able to find it. Because I've had a lot of people commenting saying like, hey, I've used the links that you have. This is all I could really find. What else am I missing? I've had other people say, could you do the opposite of what you did last time, where it's not like, hey, I would not use this, but it's like, hey, give us information that we need to know about some of the other options. And so I kind of took that to heart, and I get it. I get what you guys are saying. I understand that you guys want options. I understand that you're trying to look things up, and sometimes it is hard to navigate some of these systems. And so I am going to put the blog post up and then let you guys kind of navigate that. I will try to tag things in very easy jargon, as they say, like very like, hey, this is what this is, and then you can go open it if that's something that you'd be interested in looking at. I will be linking, FDA links. I will be also linking things like, Better Business Bureau reviews. I'm not going to link anything to Facebook groups because a lot of people will not be a part of that group, so they cannot go and view, the things that I found there. So I'm only going to be linking public domains that you yourself can find. I have also submitted with the FDA an FOIA request, so that's the Freedom of Information and Inspections Act. So I have submitted quite a few with the FDA for them to provide me additional information that is not currently on their site for a couple of things. If and when I ever do receive that back, because I know that it says it can take up to a month to receive those things, I will also share all of that with you all, or possibly even link it over into my blog post as well. So now I'm going to show you guys my week 13 injection, which again is the 2.5 milligrams of Zepbound.
As always, I like to show every single week that I'm doing my injection just to show that I am using the Zepbound. This is my 2.5 milligram. This has been sitting out of the fridge for just a little while. I always inspect the vial. A bubble is perfectly fine, but if you do see any type of particulate or anything else in there, you will not want to take this, and you will want to notify the manufacturer and or your doctor. So today I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently. I always take my cold pack, and yes, I do make it cold. That's my personal preference because I don't really want to feel it. Some people like to feel it go in. I have just done this for a long time, both with my Cosentyx injections as well as since I've been taking Zepbound. I have not injected into my stomach the Zepbound, I think, more than once, because I usually do my Cosentyx in my stomach. However, because I've kind of had this stall or weight gain, I'm going to try something a little different and give my legs a little bit of a break from these injections. Ignore my little French bulldog back there, of course. I always wipe down with the alcohol wipe, and I do let this dry fully before I inject, because you do want to make sure that it dries so that it does not sting. You also really don't want to add any additional alcohol into the mix of this either. So I unlocked my pen. I'm going to put it straight up to this section that I'm pinching so that it does go subcutaneous layer in there. You're going to hear the 1 and then 2 clicks, and then that lets you know that you are done. Typically, when I inject into my stomach, I will see a little bit more blood than I do in other areas. I simply am just going to wipe that away, and then I always have a Band-Aid ready, regardless of where I'm injecting, just so that I'm not ruining any of my clothes. For some reason, my daughter also really likes to see where I've injected by seeing that there is a Band-Aid there. One thing that I do a little bit differently from other people is I do take my injector pen and I will put the gray cap back on there before I then go put this entire thing over into a sharps container. My sharps container is getting a little full, and so I will show you all probably in the next few weeks the process of sending the sharps container back to where it came from.
Don't worry, I did not forget that we were having a $15 giveaway today as well from last week's commenters. I asked both of my children to give me numbers. Here were their answers.
All right, I want you to give me a number between 1 and 50. Any number.
3.
3? All right, perfect. Thank you.
Poppy, can you give me a number between 1 and 50? Any number. Just say a number. Any number. Give me a number. Hello? Can you give me a number? No? So because I could not get an answer from my youngest, then the winner is going to be commenter number 3. I will place up who that is right over here, and I will be contacting you so that you can get that $15 Amazon gift away. Again, that's from me directly. It is not associated with YouTube or any brand or platform in any way. Congratulations. I hope that these videos are very educational for you all. I hope that this helps you figure out different ways to look up things, different questions to ask for yourself, different questions to ask about your manufacturer, different questions to ask about your pharmacy, different questions that might come up about any kind of services that you're using, different questions to ask yourself about what it is that you actually want and what is going to make you happy, whether it's being on a weight loss medication or not, and just being accepting of who you are, the whole body positivity movement. To me, whatever makes you all happy is going to make me happy as well. I want to thank everybody who watches these videos. I don't get sponsors for videos on YouTube without you all, just so that you know. I'm also going to tell you all that I do have sponsors seemingly coming out of the woodwork now for these specific videos, just because they know that you guys have all eyes on it. I am not, I repeat, not going to take any sponsorship that I personally do not believe in the product, or would not take the product, or do not already take the product. There are things that make sense for me to kind of put out there for you all, especially if they are going to offer any type of discount for you all. And it's something that I know and use myself, or would gift myself, or am excited to receive myself. So I am not one of those people that is going to take money from a brand just to take money from a brand. I got in a lot of just heartache and angriness years and years and years ago by just taking money from every Joe and Jane that came out to me saying they wanted me to review their product, or to put their product out in front of my live audience that I do typically over on Amazon Live. You guys make sure you're following me over on Amazon just so that you can see those, because when I do Amazon Live and it's branded, there will be a discount code that you guys can claim while I'm on live stream. So make sure you head there and tap follow, because I like for you guys to get savings every time I'm doing anything like this. I know with Nood, they did tell me that they have automatic savings on their website right now, so that you guys do not have to remember any type of code, but I will put up a QR code right over here. It's going to link you all through my Like to Know It account, so that you can go straight to Nood to grab one. I've been using this for the past few weeks. Honestly, I'm going to give you guys an update after 8 weeks and let you guys know how it went. Overall, already, I just stand while I'm talking to my husband and do this, and it's super easy. So when they sent me the Like to Know It campaign for YouTube, I'm going, yes, 1000% yes, because this is something that I think is great. I use it. I would gift it to people as well. And it's an amazing product, like absolutely amazing. I have other ones that I've tried to use in the past that I really feel like they didn't really do a whole lot, and there were only certain areas of your body that you could use it on. So the fact that you can use this anywhere is just mind-blowing to me. The things that they're coming up with these days, like on all fronts, is just absolutely amazing to me. So I will give you guys an update on my week 3 after my week 13 injection. On my week 14, I am hoping, fingers crossed, that even staying on the 2.5, that I can kind of get myself back under control as far as my eating habits, working out habits, and then we can put up a loss number for you guys next week. So I will see you next week for week 14. Bye, everybody.